Hi there, congratulations on making it to part 3 of the basics of how to read a lead sheet. If you've made it this far already, then you've already learned the basics of time signatures, measures, and note values. In this part, we're going to be covering the different kind of symbols that we will encounter on a lead sheet. Let's take a look. Symbols. When we take a look at a lead sheet, you are likely to come across different types of symbols along the way. These symbols can tell us many things, including tempo, roadmap, and dynamics. Let's take a look at some of the different symbols you might encounter and what they mean. Tempo. Tempo is defined as the speed at which a passage of music should be played. To start off a piece, you might see a quarter note at the top of your page with an equals sign followed by the number. All this means is a quarter note is worth X amount of beats per minute. It is basically telling you how fast or slow the piece needs to be played. In this case, the piece would be played at 120 beats per minute. Here are a couple basic tempo markings you will come across on a lead sheet in order from slowest to fastest. First, we have lento, which means slow. Andante, at a walking pace. Moderato, at a moderate pace. Allegro, fast. Presto, very fast. Next, let's take a look at a few basic tempo changing terms to keep in mind. Rallentando, also abbreviated as RAL, means to gradually slow down. Retardando, abbreviated as RIT, also means to gradually slow down. A tempo has no abbreviation, and it means to return to the original tempo of the piece. Accelerando, also abbreviated as you see above, means to gradually increase speed. Now there are many other terms regarding tempo and tempo changes, but this gives us a basic foundation to start off with. When reading a lead sheet, we will sometimes encounter symbols that will tell us to go to a particular section of the chart or even repeat a section. These symbols fall under the category of our roadmap. Here are a few basic terms that can affect our roadmap. Repeat signs. Here we have two examples of repeat signs. When encountering repeat signs, you will generally have a start repeat sign and an end repeat sign. You will typically follow the music until you reach the end repeat sign, and then you will go back to the start repeat sign to play that section again. To clarify, this only happens one time unless mentioned otherwise on the music. After playing this section the second time around, you will simply continue past the end repeat sign and go on with the chart. In the case where there is no starting repeat sign, the general rule of thumb is to go back to the beginning or any earlier starting repeat you might see. First and second endings. First and second endings are very similar to repeat signs. All you have to do is play through the first ending. Then you will repeat back to the beginning, and the second time through it, you will skip the first ending and jump straight to the second time ending, as you can see in this example. DC. Anytime you come across a measure with a DC, also known as da capo, you will simply go back to the beginning of the piece and play until the end. There are many variations on this, including a couple of popular ones. DC al coda and DC al fine. With a DC al fine, just like you did with a DC, you will go back to the beginning of the piece, except this time you will come across a measure that says fine. That will be the measure that will conclude the piece. DS. When you come across a DS, also known as del segno, what you will do is go back in your music to the sign that looks like a big S and continue until the end. Just like there are variations with the DC, there are also variations with the DS, with the most popular being DS al fine and DS al coda. We have already discussed how al fine works, so let's check out how DS al coda works. As we play through our piece, when we come across a measure with DS al coda, we will jump back to the big S like we do with all DS's. Then, as we continue in the music, we will come across a compass-looking sign, or other times it might say to coda. You will then jump straight to the coda section, which also has a matching compass sign, sometimes even with the word coda next to it. Keep in mind, the word coda may not always be written, so it's very important to understand what those compass-looking signs actually mean. This covers a number of symbols you will encounter when reading a lead sheet and concludes Part 3 of our series of the basics of how to read a lead sheet. Please check out Part 4 to finish and complete the series. We hope to see you there.